Welcome to Financial Literacy, your one-stop resource for understanding the complexities of the financial world. If you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest content. We're here to unravel the tangled web of finance, shedding light on everything from personal budgeting to global economic trends. Today, we're venturing into a topic that's as controversial as it is fascinating. The problems associated with fiat currencies, the type of money that most of us use every day, are not backed by physical commodities like gold or silver. This lack of tangible backing can lead to a host of issues, some of which have been responsible for economic meltdowns and financial crises around the world. We will be exploring these problems in detail and also discussing potential alternatives to the fiat system. Without further ado, let's delve into the fascinating and somewhat troubling world of fiat currencies. Before we examine the issues, it is crucial to understand what we mean by fiat currency. Fiat currency is a type of money that is issued by a country's government. It's not backed by a physical commodity like gold or silver. Instead, the value of fiat money is derived from the trust and confidence people have in the government that issues it. In short, it's worth something because we believe it's worth something. Now let's delve a little deeper. The term fiat stems from the Latin word fiduciary, meaning, let it be done. This is a nod to the authoritative command that establishes the currency. Fiat money only has value because a government maintains its value or because two parties engaging in a transaction agree on its value. One key characteristic of fiat currencies is that they are intrinsically worthless. That is, they have no value in and of themselves. A banknote or a coin only has value because we as a society have all agreed to assign it. So if we were to suddenly lose faith in it, or if the government that issued it were to collapse, it would essentially be rendered worthless. Fiat currencies also differ from other forms of money, such as commodity money or representative money. Commodity money is money whose value comes from a commodity of which it's made, like gold or silver coins. Representative money, on the other hand, represents a claim on a commodity which can be redeemed to a greater or lesser extent. Today, most of the world's currencies are fiat. The US dollar, the euro, the British pound, and the Japanese yen are all examples of fiat money. They are deemed legal tender, meaning they are recognized by the government as a valid form of payment. Now that we have a clear understanding of what fiat currencies are, it's time to examine the issues they pose. One of the most significant problems associated with fiat currencies is inflation. So let's talk about inflation in simple terms. Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. As inflation increases, every dollar you hold buys a smaller percentage of a good or service. It's like a stealthy tax that chips away at the purchasing power of money over time. Now, why is this a problem? Well, consider this. If you've saved $50,000 for your retirement and the inflation rate is 2% per year, in 20 years, that $50,000 would be worth less than $37,000. That's a significant reduction in your purchasing power. But wait, it gets worse. Sometimes countries experience hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is inflation gone wild, with prices increasing at an extremely high and typically accelerating rate. Take Zimbabwe, for instance. In the late 2000s, Zimbabwe experienced one of the worst cases of hyperinflation in history. At its peak, Zimbabwe's inflation rate reached an almost incomprehensible 89.7 sextillion% per month. That's a lot of zeros. By the time the government abandoned the Zimbabwean dollar in 2009, the country was virtually bankrupt and its people were reduced to bartering for goods and services. Then there's Venezuela. The country's economy has been in a tailspin for years, with hyperinflation reaching an astounding 1,000,000% in 2018. The result has been widespread poverty and economic instability. These examples highlight the dangers of unrestrained inflation and the potential pitfalls of fiat currency when governments have the power to print money at will. The value of that money can quickly erode, leading to damaging economic consequences. As we've seen, inflation can have devastating effects on an economy. But that's not the only issue with fiat currencies. Fiat currencies also contribute to debt accumulation and economic instability. This is a statement that may sound heavy, but it's crucial to understand when discussing the problems associated with fiat currency. Let's unravel this a bit, shall we? When a government cannot cover its expenses through taxes alone, it borrows money. This is done by issuing bonds, which are essentially IOUs with a promise to repay the money with interest. The central bank, which can print more of the fiat currency, often buys these bonds, effectively increasing the money supply. This process, known as quantitative easing, may seem like a convenient solution to fill the government's coffers, but it's not without its pitfalls. The increase in money supply can lead to inflation, which we've discussed earlier. But there's another problem: debt accumulation. As the government continues to borrow and print money, the national debt grows. This debt is not just a number on a balance sheet. It's a burden on the economy, often leading to higher taxes and reduced public services. If not managed carefully, this can spiral into a debt crisis. Let's look at Greece, for example. In 2010, Greece's national debt had become so large that the country was unable to repay its creditors. The result was a severe economic crisis that led to high unemployment rates, austerity measures, and a significant drop in living standards for the Greek people. Another example is Argentina, which has defaulted on its debt a staggering 9 times. Most recently, in 2020, each default brought about a wave of economic instability. With rampant inflation, a sharp devaluation of the Argentine peso, and severe impacts on the lives of ordinary Argentinians. These examples are not isolated incidents. They are stark illustrations of how the use of fiat currencies can contribute to debt accumulation and economic instability. The potential for governments to manipulate their currencies and accumulate unsustainable debt levels is a significant risk inherent in the fiat system. These problems highlight the inherent instability of fiat currencies. But what are the alternatives? We'll delve into this intriguing question in our next segment. Stay tuned. While fiat currencies have their problems, various alternatives have emerged over the years. Our first alternative is cryptocurrencies, a digital or virtual form of currency that uses cryptography for security. Bitcoin, the most well-known among them, has made quite a splash in the financial world. It offers the potential for decentralization, removing the control of governments and financial institutes, since this can make transactions faster, cheaper, and more secure. However, cryptocurrencies also come with their own set of challenges. The value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can be extremely volatile, leading to potential financial losses. Additionally, the lack of regulation makes it a potential playground for illegal activities. Gold, a classic alternative to fiat currencies, has been treasured by human civilizations for thousands of years. Gold holds its value well, it's scarce, and it's not subject to the whims of governments or financial institutions. This makes it a popular choice for those looking for a more stable store of value. Despite its advantages, gold isn't perfect either. It's not as easily transferable as digital currencies, and there can be significant costs associated with storing and insuring it. Another alternative that has gained some attention recently is local currencies. These are currencies that are only valid within a particular region or community. They can stimulate local economies by keeping money within the community and can be more resilient to global economic shocks. Yet local currencies have limitations. Their value is restricted to a certain area, limiting their use for international trade. They also require a high level of community participation to function effectively. Complementary currencies also exist, such as air miles or loyalty points. These are intended to supplement rather than replace national currencies. They encourage certain behaviors and can be a great way to stimulate economic activity. As we've seen, no form of currency is perfect, but exploring these alternatives can help us mitigate some of the issues associated with fiat currencies. To wrap up, we've explored the problems associated with fiat currencies and discussed some alternatives. We've delved into how inflation, often a result of fiat currency, can erode your purchasing power, leaving individuals and economies grappling with financial instability. We've also shed light on the serious consequences of debt, another pitfall of fiat currencies that has led to economic meltdowns in various countries across the globe. But there's a silver lining. By considering alternatives to fiat currencies such as cryptocurrencies and commodity-based currencies, we can potentially mitigate these issues and foster a more stable economic landscape. It's crucial to remember that staying informed and understanding these financial concepts is the first step towards making sound financial decisions in a world that's ever-evolving. Being financially literate is not just an option, it's a necessity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of fiat currencies. Remember to subscribe to Financial Literacy for more insightful content. Until next time, stay financially savvy.